We're live. Welcome back, everyone, to another Snek Flicks and Chill featuring, this time, a Dietaku.
I I was trying to think of something funny to say. I don't really have something funny to say, so I guess I'm the punchline.
Uh,
How's
Poogums
everybody?
often are.
Uh, you're a funny guy. You a funny guy. You're funny. Wow, you're a lot less dead than I thought you were.
Well, this is actually my creative map. You actually saw me in the early phases on this one.
Uh,
This is
oh,
me
is this
just...
your giant house
Yep,
that you made?
my gigantic L-shaped house that I use to literally cordon off where monsters can attack the village from, because my villagers are stupid and don't know how to protect themselves.
Yeah. Okay.
These are my bees. And like everyone at home watching is like, Snek, you're an idiot. Why are they ground level? And I'm like, I didn't know. I didn't know how the bees worked, okay? I had no idea what I was doing. It
I don't
was a
know.
long time since I played.
I don't know how bees work, dude. Are bees actually airborne in this?
They can fly. When they rain, they usually hide. But normally they can fly. And if you put a campfire underneath their hive or a box, it makes them docile, and you can take their honey without pissing them off. Like so.
I
Because, get it?
see.
Because you're like smoking the hive.
I was in this smoke before it was cool.
Hipster bees.
I, you know what? I don't care what people say. I'm keeping that.
Actually, because of that scene, I looked up exactly how smoking a beehive works, and it's because the smoke, being a physical particle, interferes with their scent trails they've left behind. So they actually don't know they're supposed to be in panic mode because someone's messing with their hives, so they can't communicate effectively, which allows the human to reach in there and take the honey.
Oh, so literally, it's what is going on? Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit!
Yeah, basically.
That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, actually, Dietaku helped me design this house. He actually was the one who came up with the idea for this corner chimney over here, which I have sealed off to protect, idiots like me from falling down the chimney and getting caught in a fire of no escape. Now, mind you, this is creative mode, and this is literally just me having fun with the mechanics of the game. I have
I was
my
about to say,
hat and coat check, and a guest storage for... At some point, I'm going to set this up as a multiplayer map, and you guys can move on in, because the default map spawn point is like just over that hill over there. We'll come back to this hallway. This is my storage and work area.
I envision this as being a little bit more the chimney as being a little bit more complex, but at the same time, though, I mean, it came out good.
Yeah, I'm not much of an artist when it comes to like pixel art, so people who are actually like good at that sort of thing are probably laughing at me and threatening to burn my house down. But I retaliate with my awesome bathroom. Haha. My bathroom is amazing. And structurally superfluous. This is my awesome dining room with a moon roof, and it's raining.
Oh, I see that. Are
Um,
those cakes?
yep. Cakes are actually a mark of considerable status in this world.
Huh.
Less than it used to be. They actually used to be incredibly painful to make, and the recipe was... No, the recipe is the same, but the ingredients became easier to come by.
Let's see.
And this is actually where the house started, is over here. Because I actually found this cave system. And both these lead to different parts of the cave, which I don't believe actually intersect. So just to keep people safe, I kind of shut everything up in here. But this was the first foundation of the house, is this little cubby right here. And I built the house completely around that.
It reminds me of Noodle made in one of the games with my little sister that I mentioned in one of the Battle Network games. And so he like actually built a house like underneath a river and like he had like a trap door that you'd have to like slip through into a cave, and then the cave was actually where the house was, and I was like, why do you do this? He's like, because she's gonna come and burn down my house otherwise, and now she can't find out where my house is. I'm like, well, all right.
This is my bedroom. I haven't actually really worked on this very much, so it's a little bit barren right now. And I have a magnetized lodestone under here, which makes my compass always point towards where my bed is. So if I ever get lost, I can actually find my way home. Yep. And actually, that little walkthrough right there was added at a later time.
What Noodle and my little sister used. They had this just tower of dirt that went up for like infinity. And they're just like, oh yeah, we use that in order to tell where we need to go. That's where our sister's house is.
These are my pets. They protect the place.
Oh.
I don't actually own a dog in real life, but so I named him after the main character of God Hand. And I actually do own a cat named Chloe, so this is just one for one.
Dog, so I mean that makes sense.
It's getting dark, so I'm going to cheat a little here. Set the time of day to sunrise. Oh yeah, this is the newest edition. This is an in-game item where you basically make a pyramid and put these on top. And these shoot up beams, and when you empower them, will give you different buffs, which are those 6 icons you see in the top right of my screen. And you can also use colored glass to change the color of the beam. And I'm a sucker for primary colors, so I went with a blue, green, red thing.
It's nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's entirely just because you wanted RGB.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, totally. It's totally not the fact that my favorite color is blue, and Cog's favorite color is red, and your favorite color is green. That would be ridiculous.
Well, it looks good. It looks like you've added a lot of stuff since I've seen it, but then again, it has been like 3 months. I like your little lit trails, too. Kind of has a yellow brick road thing going on.
Yep, that's to ensure that I have a safe way to escape in the event I should ever require one. Now, the only thing I haven't shown off is actually an addition that Dietaku himself suggested.
Oh.
Because he asked me,
yeah, I did that because I saw Gura
underwater.
Gal Gura.
And I said, yes, you can.
She said that she was going to build Atlantis, and I'm like, and so I really don't know Minecraft, and so I'm like, hey, is this even doable?
It sure is. Here, this will give us a clearer picture. Yep, I just built straight through this pond, and I didn't really have a destination in mind, so I just kind of rolled with it. Though I found several cave systems kind of like just off the path I cut through here, and that's just a labyrinth I'll get lost in if I go down. So instead, I'll show where this actually terminates. Because this is essentially just like a tiny little gully in the middle of what's essentially the ocean. But down here I found an underwater... I don't know if this is technically considered a dungeon or if this is just a randomly generated landmark. But it's where I decided to put my nether gate in order to ensure that nothing unsavory makes any attempts to get through. It's actually a shockingly safe setup, and... well, I'll just show off the nether since I'm here anyway. Hi. If I wasn't in creative mode, these guys would be attacking me right now, because they are obsessed with gold. You notice their weapons are gold, they will trade for gold, and if you're not wearing gold, which presently I am not wearing anything, they will just attack you. So, that's actually how a hardcore run of mine ended not too long ago. There are actually several gates that I've set up throughout this world to help navigation, because while the surface world and the nether do overlay, it's, I want to say, one block in the nether is the equivalent of 6 to 10 on the overworld. So if you know what you're doing, you can get great distances using a series of linked gates like this. I forget which one this is, so we're just going to use it. Oh yeah, this is the island. Yeah, this is actually a good ways across the water, opposite of where we were just now. If you head down that path, that would take you back to my house.
I will freely admit I do not know that much about the game. I've only watched people very casually. It's cool.
Yeah, one of these days I'm gonna rent us a Tomodachi Bros server and we'll have a grand old time. And in the spirit of these mellow Snek videos, we decided that we're also gonna do a bit of a lore dump. Now, it's been mentioned a couple times, and I've referenced it several times silently throughout the videos. Dietaku's been working on a comic for us called Tomodachi Quest. And yeah, like, for instance, like the Death Road to Canada video from last Halloween block, that had several characters that were directly from Tomodachi Quest, including Role Model, who farted in our car and drove us near to violence with how terrible it was.
Just a pretty unpleasant person. So, well, I mean, how do you want to do this? It's... I could just start talking, and we'd be here all day, so...
Well, let's start with... because there are pages that are up. There are actually some early pages available on the Instagram page, which Cog has taken the liberty of curating for us. Now, that being said...
well, yes,
most of that's
no.
not canon now, right?
As some of you may realize, I had a medical emergency earlier in the year that I'm just getting back from. And basically being in the hospital for a long period of time, you're allowed to think for a lot, because that's really all you can do. And so I started thinking, like, man, what I was doing wasn't particularly good. I could do better. And so I started just writing things down. And so I have a lot of the characters remain the same, but their relationships, well, like, unfortunately certain characters have been cannibalized. Like, I realized that we had 7 main characters. I'm like, that's a bit much. So that's been trimmed down. And some of the villains have kind of been rearranged in terms of their importance. For instance, we, in the comic, immediately start fighting the enlightened rulers, who are the people who basically, as they say, rule the world. But they're supposed to be the 4 heavenly kings, but in a secular, atheistic kind of way. Very snarky, very arrogant. They are still around, and actually they are more important now than their boss, the Rhyme Wizard. At least insofar as the average citizen knows about the enlightened rulers. They would not know about the Rhyme Wizard at this point. He's still their boss, but he's kind of behind the scenes. I mean, there's an entire thing I could go on about the Rhyme Wizard even then. Winter's coming, you guys. Winter's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Winter's coming. The 12 days of the 12 days of everlasting night are coming. They're coming. Don't worry. They're coming.
If If you guys follow the Tomodachi Bros podcast and the amazing full-length special edition of Season 1, you guys have heard a part of this already. The wonderful, spirited
TLDR
discussion
version,
we had on the topic not too long
I'm not
ago.
a huge fan of George R. R. Martin. I find him to be
But-
somewhat insufferable, and it baffles me that people are like, oh, he's so smart, he's so good. It's like, he's really not, and honestly, the way he
He's really not.
acts, I'm just kind of baffled by / kind of embarrassed. But he's a big boy, quite literally. So he can take care of himself. He's doing quite well for himself, apparently. So far be it from me to say anything on that. Yeah.
Far be it for us
those
to critique
mushroom
him on
trees?
success. Giant mushrooms, yes, this is a mushroom forest. These were originally added as a bit of an Easter egg where you could use bone meal on mushrooms to get huge novelty mushrooms, but now they actually spawn as their own biome.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we could go into the Normans and Atmans and the difference between the two, and then kind of go from there. Well, I mean, basically the way
that sounds like a good starting
that
place.
the world is in Tomodachi Quest is you yourself, if you were sent there, because God forbid Truck-kun decides to send you there, you would be treated as a novelty, dear listener, because you yourself are not the type of person that is the norm there. Really, as the name implies, there's two types of people there. There are Normans and Atmans. And bear in mind, dear listeners who care about such things, this is mans in terms of humans, not man and woman. This is the old style way of doing that. So there's...
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, we don't
exactly.
have to make
We're not,
random, meaningless
I'm not thinking
divisions
about that. We're not
based
thinking
on
about
gender
that.
here.
This is mans as in humans. And it's actually two portmanteaus. It's Atmans or atavistic humans and Normans or normal humans. You see, there was a event that happened, the 12 Days of Everlasting Night, whereupon a bunch of giant silver-skinned giants, I suppose, they're giants, but as opposed to small giants, and those small giants, yeah, they come up, they're like a foot tall.
I hate those small giants. They're very confusing.
And they just
Nah,
destroyed
eat your ankle.
most
I'm like,
of
no, don't do that. It's annoying.
what was then modern society. And what basically happened after that was there was just a general calamity. Just society broke down. No one really knows exactly about those times because, well, no one really lived through it. But what happened is that Atmans were replaced by Normans. Normans are slightly larger, they are stronger, they are faster, and they can use magic more readily. They're also somewhat bestial. They tend to have raccoonish, I suppose, features, if you're talking about the usual Normans. Although, I mean, ultimately, I suppose
Yeah,
you could
that's fair to say.
argue that they're also sheep in wolf's clothing. The entire thing about them is that they, unlike most average people nowadays, conformity is extremely important to them. It's all about the group. The group is of supreme importance, and their belonging in the group is of extreme importance. You must conform to the will of the group, to the will of whatever leaders they have. And that is very important to them, extremely important. And, well, I suppose you could argue that, oh, well, that's the same as regular humans. No, no. Regular humans, our Atmans, can dissent. There's an emotional need for Normans to belong to their groups and to conform. And this leads to some rather silly situations, shall we say. Their entire society basically boils down to the lowest common denominator in terms of popular culture. And their, for instance, popular music is really, really, really lowbrow. One of their favorite songs is by a singer named Godiva Sappos, and her favorite song out of the ones that she sings is Hot Dog Down the Hallway. Oh, yes, very classy stuff. It's very, very, very... I mean...
It's all very classy stuff.
That's just the way it is. And so that's the society of the enlightened rulers. It is a very collectivist, very conformist. You must listen to what the, not even ruling elite. It's more of the rulers themselves. There's only a few of them. What they have to say, and you must go along with it. There is rumors going around that there are people beyond even the enlightened rulers, a council of geriatrical Normans who basically run everything. But zombie on fire.
I found an emo zombie. He just walked out into the sun with no provocation from me, and I'm like, oh, he's an emo zombie.
Where was I? Emo zombie made me lose my train of thought.
Whoops.
I mean, I can...
Emo zombie likes the sun and hates human flesh.